high vibrations, sweet babies, yes. Holy moly, the first card that jumped out for us today is the golden key, the key of opportunity. Keys open doors. Key. A key is a huge indicator here. This message was coming through for me earlier because I was actually changing around my key ring, and it dawned on me a few things. I did a previous reading where I was talking about spectators, people being interested in your energy, people being interested in swapping timelines with you. That sounds pretty far out, but it's actually not really all that far out if you really think about it. People love to use the example of those two girls from Euphoria. I think it was Maddie and Cassie. I don't know. I wasn't super into it. I kind of look like I'm the long lost member of Euphoria sometimes, but I'm really not that into it. So anyway, they use that example because it shows somebody who very intentionally in this example was trying to get what another person had, and basically you can think of like this person is like the blueprint of like who they're trying to step into, access their energy. And there is a lot of studies on collective consciousness where people believe that you can actually tap into someone's genius through the energetic field. That is a bit far out. If you want to go look into that, I'm always sending you down little rabbit holes to investigate and look into. Please be my guest and tell me about it after you study it, because I honestly would be very curious. But there was that energy of you operating in one way, in one frequency, and then this person around you, maybe they are directly related to you in your, what I like to call orbit, like in your inner circle and everything. But this could also be somebody who is literally never spoken to you. This could be even someone lurking on social media. But it really feels as though someone is keeping tabs on your energy. Does it mean maliciously? No, it doesn't. I think sometimes a lot of people do things unconsciously, not realizing how it's really like happening for them, and not really thinking about how it might be affecting other people. And in that way, it can be harmful. But there is oftentimes that a lot of people just do negative things without the clear intent of malice. And I think that is something worth recognizing and looking into, not for them, but for your own peace of mind. That's just an interesting thing that wanted to come through regarding that energy and that situation. I really didn't want to like fearmonger or anything with the energy that I was feeling into with the spectators, because as much as mental health, I think, is a conversation to be had around this topic, I just also feel as though nothing super threatening is going to be, involved in that energy. Protect yourself, be discerning of yourself, be aware of your own experience and your surroundings. But really, I'm just getting a lot more of like spiritual and mental kind of attack versus somebody who, to me, it seems like they are kind of lurking in the shadows, keeping a distance, keeping quiet, pulling back. They're watching but not really saying anything. They might not be talking to you, but they might be talking about you, or they're just watching, and they're really brewing, like they are brewing over something. And excuse me, it might not even be extremely clear to you what it's about, but I think it's about something that was said and somebody was taken aback. That's exactly what the energy is. Someone was taken aback by something that was said. And this is not somebody who, something that was said or information that they received, something like a conversation they had, but something made them like have like a frog in their throat or stammer or something, and they didn't like that. Or maybe they said something stupid or whatever, but it messed with them, and so they kind of are like pulling back. It's almost like a little bit of a tail between their legs sort of feeling. But anyway, I don't want to read too much into that energy. I already did a reading on that, but I am bringing it up because to me it seems as though they might have something of yours, an object or an item of some kind. I'm feeling like this item is probably metallic, metal of some kind. They are unconsciously working like negative witchcraft on you. Like, they're not somebody who calls himself a witch or has a cauldron by any means. But they, for certain, by having this little like item, totem, token that like either it's yours or it represents something about you to them. Like whenever they see it, they think of you, or maybe you have something metallic that has caught their eye, and I don't know. It just feels as though there is like this involvement of a token. This could even be a ring. Yeah, and it feels as though that is something that they are using unknowingly as a talisman to kind of work some negative energy against you. So what I'm going to recommend that you do is continue to submerge yourself in water. Take a lot of baths, take a lot of showers, spiritual cleansing, visual cleansing, and really surrender any attachments to that situation, to that object. Here's why. Because the more, and if you know that this person has something of yours, or if you have a feeling that they have something, it's in their possession and not your possession, I just want you to like think about not how frustrating it might be. This is a really like specific and very interesting reading, but I just need you to let this roll off your back. You need to surrender to this, because this is someone who's very childlike, and very naive. There's hope in this situation, or not even in the situation with them. You just have a very hopeful outlook in your life right now, and I feel like this energy that around you is making you aware of the type of symbolism that comes with things, and how these things kind of, there's like a lot of mediums who will ask you to like bring an object to the reading, because I'm blanking on the name of it now, but it's a type of energy reading where they hold a physical item and they're able to tap into the energy attached to that item. There's a name for this, and it's right on the tip of my tongue, but whatever. So anyway, I want you to know that you're exactly where you need to be. Your angels, your ancestors, your guides just wanted me to let you know that, yeah, if you're here this far into the reading, this is for you. You are on the right path, and this is a very interesting situation that you're put in, because to me it feels as though this was like very one of your angels your ancestors, your guides, like your spirit team, like just the energy of the team around you that I feel into. That's what I mean by that. They are for sure feeling, they're giving you a little like wink of like, they have their hand in this situation. They want you to look towards, they want you to be hopeful in this situation. Rainbows might be significant or a symbol right now, for sure. There's some letters that came out. I'm going to read those later. But right now, I just want you to understand that you have a lot of divine guidance around you. In fact, this feels, I wouldn't be surprised if a specific card came out, but 33 might be showing up for you. Oop, okay. So, yeah, overall, the energy feels really good as you move towards this solar eclipse. And whatever, it's like, you're not somebody who likes to have drama. You're not somebody who, like, constantly has, like, a nemesis or, like, a person that they're fighting or whatever. And it feels kind of uncomfortable for you to be in confrontational situations, but like you're also very strong and very sure of yourself. And I'm just gonna share the energy as it's coming through. You don't always need to have an antagonist in your life. That's what I want you to understand. 1212 is showing up. You don't always have to have somebody who's on the opposing team that's like your nemesis. I feel like this might be something that has been a motivator for you in the past, to know that you are maybe in a like, in a way, the way that others might have treated you made you feel motivated to do better for yourself, or just there is an element of wanting to prove somebody wrong or prove something different. And I think it's really now, clear as day, really important for you to just be able to look at your achievements. I'm thinking like from the ground up. That's an interesting way, but it just has this feeling of like, not only that, but what you're working towards and the achievements that you're working towards, you are creating the foundation for that right here and right now. And you're feeling into the person that you're kind of having to show up as in order to really create this foundation for yourself through this upcoming solar eclipse. And I'll probably do another reading before then, just to feel a little bit more into the specific energy of the solar eclipse, because that's also what I've been feeling. 1212 again, is that there is really, 17, you're on your path, honey buns. Things are very much feeling day by day, minute by minute, even sometimes. And I don't know what this. And because of that, it feels like, I don't know, you're like catching your footing with your time, or time is like an issue with you right now. Like maybe daylight savings time is like messing with you. I don't know, but we need you. They have to choose it for themselves. Planting seeds, birthday, 333. I told you threes. it's real. Return to sender. Exactly. Anytime you feel into 657, anytime you are feeling into that person, just like, or not even specifically a person, even if you just feel like you have eyes on you, like maybe you're somebody who's just naturally the center of attention, and with that role comes a lot of eyes on you, and that means naturally people are going to formulate opinions by just seeing you, observing you, and especially if you dare to shine, you're basically putting yourself on, you're just putting yourself in a position to be ridiculed, pretty much. And I don't want to just sit here and be like, oh, toughen up, like learn to deal with it, because it's really truthfully like more so their healing that they need to find. And in a way, you're kind of just teaching them like something that they could be learning from or healing from. You could be a very healing relationship to this person, even if it's a complete acquaintance, someone you never speak to, someone you never see again. But if you have the ability to like ruffle their feathers that much just by being yourself and just by shining, like clearly you're illuminating work for them that needs to be done. And you can just return that energy to sender, close off your auric field to that person, and let that be that. There's an energy here of like Mars, Aries, very like take the bull by the horns type of energy around that. And I would be curious to see cord cutting. This is someone who uses like dominance and like quote unquote like a masculinity, but it's really just aggression to create fear. And why am I still tapping into this person's freaking energy, dude? I don't enjoy it, but I just feel like it's blocking you from seeing your achievements. And I think that you're somebody who really needs to see what you're capable of and what is possible to you. I want you to start thinking like the world is your oyster, or the world's at your fingertips. Like that's the sort of energy that your guides are asking you to feel into. And I'm actually going to just set these signifiers off to the side because I really don't want to be reading into any more of that Kaka energy, because as you move towards the solar eclipse, I just feel like you're going to be finding a little bit more of your voice, a little bit more of your own, the things that you're keeping repressed and like to yourself, or you're not saying or speaking on right now. I just feel like you're going to get your opportunity to express them in healthy, it's safe, in safe, healthy ways to really use your discernment and your intuition on how to handle these sorts of experiences. It feels like, there's a lot of focus on how you're relating to other people as we kind of tie back this whole eclipse season. We're really sealing it off, tying it off, and into the month of April, we're going to have, the shadow periods kind of do their last little stretch and see what they can work out of us, you know. But ultimately, it really feels like you, at the start of eclipse season, at the start of Venus retrograde and all of this, back end of February, early March, there was this like, hold up, I don't fuck with this energy. I don't like the way that I'm connecting to people. I don't like the way that I'm relating to this experience or to these things and to whatever. And it called for a wake-up call. There was like an ego death. There was this realization that you don't attach to the ego and the sense of self that you had connected to for a really long time. And during the eclipse season, it was clear to you that you were shedding a skin, and there was a little bit of a grieving, a slowing down, a needing to kind of pause and definitely let go of things in one way or another. And we started to feel some more momentum and some more things picking up. And of course, this goal that we might have been feeling into of wanting to relate to things differently. Maybe that wasn't even a goal. Maybe it's just like curiosity of like, how am I going to relate to things? How am I going to relate to things? And there's also like this unfinished energy. So right now, there's, as we move towards the solar eclipse, it feels like there's going to be some more loose ends tied up. Sometimes it feels like you have some challenges thrown at you, some things that show up as obstacles, but I think that you're more in a place of understanding this is all part of your journey. That's really the underlying energy of this reading, with a lot of 17 showing up, that you're on your path, like you're on your journey, and it doesn't always have to be big, monumental experiences every single day to let you know that you are on your journey and that things are going to be good for you. My buddy boy wants to come inside. Give me a moment. Okay, so I'm not 100% positive where I left off, but I think it was something along the lines of just being a little bit more, you're just embracing the journey. You're embracing the things that feel challenging, challenging with a little bit more grace and a little bit more flow. And I do think that there is something that still needs to be addressed, and it feels as though like you're trying to like let go of something, but things just keep bringing you like back to it, and you like come back later. Like if you're asking an 8-ball like what to like it, you know, in that like very whimsical, like faithful way of like, what should I do about this situation? And you shake it, and you're like, okay, give me a good answer. And it's just like, come back later. That's kind of how things feel around some of this energy here for solar eclipse. It's like things are asking you to come back and just truthfully, I think, let go of things in a really healthy way. And you've been prepared for that sort of letting go, shifting, releasing with the eclipse season. And now it's really up to you about how you decide you want to move forward. It does seem like there's an element here of like commitment and maybe even just like wanting a relationship, and definitely wanting fun, wanting things to just like miraculously be amazing and everything's just going really well and flowing in your life. And that's just kind of the energy, is like you're just ready for like a divine intervention to just come in work its magic and seal the deal with things, and you can just kind of like have fun. You can take some chances. You can like look back with a little bit more, I don't know. It just kind of seems like maybe the way you've been looking back at things has been a little bit clouded. Yeah, it seems like for sure there's still an experience or a situation or an element of your journey that is not finished, but it's reaching its completion and it's reaching its finish. This might involve a karmic feminine energy. Right now, it's so important for you to follow your bliss. It is so important. Like, I cannot stress it enough. My buddy boy is chowing down over there. And maybe he wants you to just like feast, replenish with him, you know, soak up the sun like he just did. Really, yeah. There's some reflecting that you're doing now, and instead of it being clouded and feeling hazy and actually kind of like a limited point of view, like if you look in your rearview mirror, you may see things looking back, but it's kind of like a here's a better way of saying it. Like, I think now you're at a place where you're able to reflect on all of the pieces of it, all of the moments of it, all of the fragments of it, instead of just having a very narrowed vision of, you know, your situation. I think you're going to be able to just look back with a little bit more fun, a little bit more like laughter, zest for life. And I think it's important for you to understand that there is always, as you already know this, always opportunities for you. But I think more so in the sense of things can work out in your favor. Things can change. And that's my jacket. You're going to get your hair and all your stuff all over it. Just be willing to be open to the idea of like, there's a chance for things to just really go well for you. And a lot of energy here around things changing, things taking new shape in a new life, represented by the butterfly here. So maybe something that you once had, you're thinking about how there's an element of surrender, of feeling like maybe it's out of your hands, or maybe like you've had to let it go or something. But I do see that there's a recovery. I see hello again. I see yin yang. I see which is hanging from a gold chain, and to me that means like bond. And I'm seeing just a lot of like really fun symbols, like symbols around heart energy, symbols around just things being light, very light. But this comes with healing some ancestral trauma. And that doesn't mean healing it with anybody necessarily. Like if you're dealing with some ancestral stuff that was going on in the family and you realize that you needed to let some of those things go, or you're working through healing some of those things, you can do that sort of healing. I'm sort of feeling like it's something that you might have to, or you feel like you're doing alone. I think sometimes it feels a bit like a labyrinth, like there's just a lot of moving parts. But ultimately, and there might be some feelings of like not having help with things, or being jaded around not having help with things, maybe financial things, feeling stressed about money might be an energy. So to me, it feels like, you're really working towards healing. There's a lot of things that are showing up for you. Your angels, your ancestors, guides, spirit team energy here is saying you're not crazy. There's a lot of moving parts. But really, I'm surprised this didn't show up of just like, take things one day at a time. Oh my God, the paper that was in my hand that jumped out of the deck. One day at a time. One day at a time. Your metamorphosis, what's changing and unfolding for you right now is something that had to be undergone like a caterpillar in a cocoon. There was a breakdown process. You might have turned to literal fucking goop. And then, like they liquefy. They liquefy. 111 on the clock right now. And this is showing up to tell you that then what happens? Then what happens? It becomes this whole new thing right there in the cocoon. And that's a process. And it's delicate. It's a delicate process, right? And I think we all have this very we see something very beautiful and sacred happening. Like if you've ever seen a cocoon, and a butterfly coming out of its cocoon, it takes so long, and it takes a while to finally open and spread its wings. And it just innately understands that it is a new creature now, and it has to fly, and it has to take on a whole new perception of life. Now, mind you, this is a bug, and I don't know if it's actually thinking any of these things, but I do have a feeling that butterflies are just much more sentient than we realize. And I think there's an element of a symbol coming through with that, of like, you are much more sentient, meaning feeling and intuiting, feeling and experiencing, okay? You might actually be someone who is clairsentient, which is a spiritual gift, meaning clear feeling. And you can actually be very intuitive when you come into your feeling, when you come into the sensations, the body felt sensations, things that you're feeling into and noticing on a felt sense level. You might be someone who gets goosebumps or chills down your spine when you're being delivered messages from spirit. You're someone whose body reacts to life around you. I'm just getting a lot of like symbols here that you're very sentient. I want to just emphasize that as you shed your skin and evolve into this new form of who you are, there is always going to be a core element that is you. And I feel like this has 111 again showing up. Water showed up twice. I feel like this has a lot to do with the power of your throat. Okay, heart at the bottom of this right now, you're being asked to do a lot of heart space things. Use your intuition. There's 555 here again with change. Things metamorphosizing. I don't know if that's a word. Changing shape, changing form, taking a new life, taking a new form in ways that, if we don't have science to explain what's happening to the butterfly or the caterpillar rather, that would look like what? Probably magic, right? And at the bottom of what's happening for you in the shift in the way that you're operating, thinking, behaving, identifying with yourself, it's because of something that needed healing in the heart. And yes, I said it before, you're really building a lot of stability and foundation for yourself, for something really beautiful to grow and for a lot of healing to take place in. I'm not even just getting stability. It feels like your own sanctuary, your own like foundation, your own ability to just like truly build something from the ground up that stands the test of time, something for yourself that's really solid, that's really rooted, really grounded, and you deserve that. Number 37 is showing up here. So, yeah, really and truly, through this solar eclipse, you're just seeing a lot of, what needs to be healed, some traumas that need tending to, because a lot of people like to think of the eclipse, solar eclipse, as like this grand finale, right, to eclipse season, and you're supposed to wake up like a new fucking magical person. And honestly, I did have a day here during eclipse season where I woke up and I was like, literally, what dimension am I in? Because I'm feeling so many things right now, like which way is up, what the fuck's going on? But anyway, we regulated and we rallied, okay? So, but to me, it feels as though, as much as you would like to have like this grand finale solar eclipse moment for yourself, it's really just going to be more so you tying up loose ends, and seeing some healing in things that were probably things that needed to be tied up and worked through a while ago, and maybe held up things in your journey, or maybe created something about you wanted to tie the knot. I'm going to be completely honest. You wanted to tie the knot with something. There was like an element to something being like you were committed. You wanted to seal the deal, tie the knot. You wanted to, not even just tie up loose ends. Like there was at one point in your journey that feeling of being so committed to something. To me, it just seems like you can absolutely still have that on your journey, but this work that you're doing right now is how you ensure that you have the foundation to do that and create that. Labyrinth is being shown here. It came out twice in this reading, along with other symbols for journey and your path. This is more so you went from feeling like you needed to tie the knot, so now you feel like you need to tie up loose ends. That's the energy. And I'm feeling that. And this is very much probably my own energy I'm feeling into with this reading as well, collective, right? Like you went from feeling so sure about something, and now it's just like it's asking you to come back to this and like really think about the challenges that were faced, the things that you overcame, the achievements that were made, the recovery, there's just like a lot of like energy around understanding that bond, and that connection. Now, this doesn't have to be romantic. This can definitely be relating to even several different people within your community and within your circle, your orbit. It definitely does not seem as though it's the same energy as your spectator, as we'll call them. It's very different energy from people who are putting out negative energy and looking in your direction with ill intent. It seems like you have people in your life who might also, instead of thinking of everybody as like some kind of karmic lesson, it's time to just start thinking about like the whole picture, the whole journey, the whole path that you're on. And I think that's kind of what you're feeling into under the solar eclipse, is more so like looking at the whole journey, the whole experience, maybe this whole eclipse season, and revisiting, what ended, revisiting like what needed tying up, and what things had you tied up, what things needed some loose ends to be That's what's really being asked for you right now. And these could be things in your immediate situation, but what I'm actually seeing is that it's a lot more in the past. Things related to your past. Things, like I said, maybe some loose ends that should have been tied up long time ago, but it feels as though you're just being asked to reflect, and you have been. You were really having to, at first during Mars retrograde, like, not just be curious about, but actually like look at and see some of the things that were repressed and pushed down. And now you're able to not, like, there was this element of like trying to keep your hand up, like see no evil type of thing. Like, that didn't happen. If I don't look at it, it's not there. You know, like you're watching a scary movie and you put your eyes up over your, and it's like, if I'm not looking, then nothing bad's happening. But you have now shed the skin of somebody who can't face these things. You shed the skin of somebody who feels fear around some of these situations. You're somebody who now has a little bit more of like you've made peace with your divine path. You surrendered to the process. You've surrendered to your journey. You trust in your journey, which is a big thing. And now you're able to like look at it, and that's what's happening with the solar eclipse, is like all of the pieces, the whole big picture. I'm seeing like a lot of fun. You're able to look back on a lot of the fun, a lot of the joy, a lot of travel. And there's a lot of things that you were able to accomplish. And there was a lot of growth and a lot of change that you also were able to accomplish, and a lot of healing. And it feels as though like you want to stay aligned with that, and you want to stay on that journey. And it really seems like as long as you continue to follow your bliss, follow your joy, take one day at a time. Sometimes it might feel like the days are getting ahead of you, or like it feels like you've got the cart before the bull. That's how people are describing, like, I don't know. I've heard that phrase before, and it just like I don't even really know what that means, but that's what's coming through, is like sometimes when you're living one day at a time, that's what it feels like. But you're still aligning, you're still shifting, you're still settling, like the dust is still settling from a lot of the shedding of skin and ascension that you went through eclipse season. So with this solar eclipse and through the shadow period into April, I really feel like there's just going to be a lot of clarity, and your perspective on this situation is just going to be a lot more lighthearted. You're going to feel a little bit more, I'm going to leave you to just experience that and feel into that for yourself. But take my word for it. Like, it looks like a really beautiful thing here. So, yeah, keep doing you. Keep taking care of yourself, protecting your energy, and following your intuition, following your bliss. Right now, I'm seeing that it's safe for you to follow your intuition. And of course, it's safe for you to follow your intuition. But I feel like you are taking on healing work and doing healing work that allows you to be able to connect with your intuition more, and you're also feeling the safety in your body, and it's like this sort of grounded confidence in your body with the healing work that you're doing, and it's allowing you to feel like you can trust your intuition, you can trust your judgment, and that's a really empowering feeling, because it makes you damn near indestructible to people who want you outside of your power, or who want to control a narrative, or who want to influence you, or maybe even just straight up manipulate you, okay? So that's my reading for you. I'm sending you all my lovin', and I'll talk to you soon.